William Ewart Gladstone 1880-1885. William Ewart Gladstone, born on December 29, 1809, was a prominent British statesman and four-time Prime Minister of the United Kingdom during the 19th century. Hailing from a wealthy family with a strong political background, Gladstone was educated at Eton and Oxford before embarking on a remarkable political career. He entered the political arena as a Member of Parliament in 1832, representing the Conservative Tory party initially. Gladstone's political trajectory, however, took a significant turn in the 1840s when he shifted his allegiance to the Liberal Party. Known for his oratorical skills, profound intellectual depth, and impassioned commitment to social justice, Gladstone quickly rose through the ranks. His principles were deeply rooted in the idea of individual liberty, free trade, and humanitarian causes, setting him apart as a dynamic and progressive leader. Gladstone's tenure as Prime Minister from 1880 to 1885 holds immense historical significance, marking a critical period in British politics and society. This period is characterized by a series of landmark reforms and policies that had a lasting impact on the nation. Gladstone's leadership during this time was marked by a commitment to addressing social and economic issues, navigating foreign policy challenges, and tackling the complex Irish question. As the head of the Liberal government, Gladstone championed a range of reforms aimed at improving the lives of ordinary citizens. His emphasis on social justice and humanitarian causes resulted in legislative initiatives addressing issues such as land reform, labor conditions, and education. Additionally, Gladstone's administration played a crucial role in shaping the direction of British foreign policy during a time of global change and upheaval. William Ewart Gladstone was born into a family of privilege and political influence on December 29, 1809, in Liverpool, England. His father, Sir John Gladstone, was a successful merchant, and the Gladstone household was characterized by affluence and a strong commitment to public service. Young Gladstone's early education began at home, where he received a classical education that laid the foundation for his intellectual pursuits later in life. In 1821, at the age of 11, Gladstone was sent to Eton College, one of England's prestigious boarding schools, where he continued to excel academically. Subsequently, he matriculated to Christ Church, Oxford, in 1828. At Oxford, Gladstone immersed himself in the study of classics, philosophy, and theology, showcasing his intellectual prowess and developing a keen interest in political and social issues. His academic achievements at Oxford set the stage for a future marked by erudition and a deep understanding of political theory. Gladstone's entry into formal politics occurred in 1832 when he was elected as the Member of Parliament for Newark, representing the Conservative Tory party. However, his political beliefs and convictions began to evolve during the 1840s, leading him to break away from the Tories and align himself with the Liberal Party, a move that would significantly shape the trajectory of his career. As a Liberal, Gladstone quickly rose through the party ranks, owing much of his success to his eloquence and passionate advocacy for issues such as free trade, individual liberty, and social reform. His reputation as a formidable orator and thinker earned him the attention and respect of both colleagues and constituents. In 1868, Gladstone became the leader of the Liberal Party, marking the pinnacle of his ascent within the political landscape. Gladstone's journey to the premiership was marked by a series of influential political roles and experiences. Prior to assuming the role of Prime Minister in 1880, he served in various key ministerial positions, showcasing his versatility and depth of knowledge. Notable roles included his service as Chancellor of the Exchequer, 1852 to 1855, 1859 to 1866, 1873 to 1874, where he made significant contributions to economic policy and financial reform. Gladstone's earlier ministerial experiences allowed him to develop a nuanced understanding of governance, economic matters, and the intricacies of parliamentary politics. His dedication to reform and his ability to navigate complex issues made him a prominent figure within the Liberal Party and a respected leader on the national stage. These formative experiences, combined with his intellectual prowess and unwavering commitment to principles, laid the groundwork for Gladstone's eventual tenure as Prime Minister from 1880 to 1885. His early life and political career not only shaped his personal development but also played a crucial role in defining his approach to governance and leadership during a pivotal period in British history. When William Ewart Gladstone assumed the role of Prime Minister in 1880, he inherited a political landscape characterized by dynamic changes, both domestically and internationally. The Victorian era was marked by industrialization, social reform movements, and evolving political ideologies. The Liberal Party, under Gladstone's leadership, aimed to address pressing issues such as land reform, labor conditions, and the Irish question. Internationally, the geopolitical scene was complex, with the Great Game unfolding in Central Asia between the British and Russian empires. The scramble for colonies and the intricacies of maintaining a global empire added layers of complexity to foreign policy considerations. Against this backdrop, Gladstone embarked on his first term with a vision of progressive reform and a commitment to addressing the challenges of the time. One of the landmark achievements of Gladstone's first term was the Irish Land Act of 1881. Aimed at addressing the grievances of Irish tenant farmers, the legislation sought to improve their land tenure and reduce the influence of landlords. The act introduced fair rents, secure tenure, and allowed tenants the right to sell their interest in the land. While it did not completely resolve the Irish land question, it represented a significant step towards ameliorating the conditions of Irish agrarian society. In response to growing agrarian unrest and the land war in Ireland, Gladstone also introduced the Coercion Act of 1881. This legislation granted the government increased powers to suppress political agitation and maintain law and order in Ireland. The Coercion Act reflected the delicate balance Gladstone had to strike between addressing Irish grievances and maintaining order in the face of social and political unrest. Gladstone's first term witnessed a series of social and economic reforms aimed at improving the conditions of the working class. Initiatives included improvements in factory regulations, labor conditions, and public health. The government also took steps to address education, with the Elementary Education Act of 1880 laying the groundwork for compulsory elementary education. Gladstone's foreign policy during his first term was marked by challenges and complexities. The geopolitical rivalry with Russia in Central Asia, known as the Great Game, required strategic maneuvering. Gladstone pursued a policy of masterly inactivity, attempting to avoid unnecessary conflicts and maintaining a balance of power. However, the situation in Afghanistan posed a significant challenge, leading to the Second Anglo-Afghan War, 1878 to 1880. While Gladstone sought to extricate British forces from the conflict, he faced criticism for the handling of the situation. The intricacies of managing the empire and navigating international relations highlighted the complexities of foreign policy during this period. During William Ewart Gladstone's time as Prime Minister from 1880 to 1885, the demand for Home Rule in Ireland became a prominent and contentious issue. Home Rule referred to the desire of Irish nationalists for self-governance and autonomy within the United Kingdom. The push for Home Rule gained momentum as Irish political leaders and the public sought greater control over their domestic affairs, including legislation and governance. The demand for Home Rule was deeply rooted in Ireland's history of political and economic subjugation, exacerbated by issues such as land reform and religious tensions. Irish nationalists, led by figures like Charles Stewart Parnell, began to articulate a vision of self-determination, advocating for the establishment of a separate Irish Parliament to address the specific needs and aspirations of the Irish people. Gladstone's response to the growing demand for Home Rule was a significant aspect of his prime ministership. Initially, Gladstone had been known for his strong stance against Irish nationalism and Home Rule. However, as the political landscape evolved and pressure mounted, Gladstone underwent a transformation in his views. In 1885, Gladstone made a historic shift by expressing his support for Home Rule. His change in stance was influenced by a belief in the principles of self-determination, a desire to address the long-standing grievances of the Irish people, and a recognition of the need for a new approach to Irish governance. Gladstone's conversion on the issue marked a pivotal moment in British political history. Gladstone's endorsement of Home Rule was met with opposition and challenges within his own party, the Liberal Party. A significant faction of liberals, known as the Liberal Unionists, vehemently opposed the idea of Irish autonomy. Led by prominent figures such as Joseph Chamberlain, the Liberal Unionists argued that Home Rule would lead to the disintegration of the United Kingdom and threatened the stability of the empire. The internal dissent within the Liberal Party posed a formidable challenge to Gladstone's leadership. The divisions reflected broader ideological clashes within British politics, encompassing questions of national identity, unionism, and the role of government. Despite his formidable oratorical skills and attempts to reconcile differences, Gladstone struggled to maintain party unity on the issue of Home Rule. The Home Rule question ultimately became a defining and divisive element of Gladstone's political legacy. His advocacy for Irish autonomy set the stage for subsequent debates and conflicts surrounding Ireland's constitutional status, influencing the course of British politics well into the 20th century. The complex interplay of political ideologies, internal party dynamics, and the historical context of Irish nationalism made the Home Rule question a central theme during Gladstone's prime ministership. As William Ewart Gladstone navigated his mid-term as prime minister from 1880 to 1885, internal divisions and dissent within the Liberal Party emerged as significant challenges. The pivotal issue of Home Rule for Ireland had created a deep rift within the party. The Liberal Unionists, led by figures like Joseph Chamberlain, were staunchly opposed to Gladstone's endorsement of Home Rule, viewing it as a threat to the unity of the United Kingdom. The internal dissent was not limited to the Home Rule question. Broader ideological differences and personal rivalries further strained party cohesion. The split within the Liberal Party underscored the complexity of managing diverse interests and maintaining unity, especially in the face of deeply divisive issues that transcended traditional party lines. Gladstone's mid-term also witnessed economic challenges and controversies that added to the difficulties of governance. The economic landscape of the time was marked by industrialization, global trade dynamics, and issues related to fiscal policy. Gladstone, having previously served as Chancellor of the Exchequer, was well versed in economic matters, but his policies faced criticism and controversy. One notable economic challenge was the controversy surrounding the 1884 budget. Gladstone's proposed budget aimed at redistributing the tax burden more equitably but faced resistance from various quarters, including business interests and members of his own party. The fiscal debates and economic controversies contributed to a sense of instability and discontent, both within the Liberal Party and among the broader public. Amidst internal divisions, economic challenges, and the ongoing debate over Home Rule, William Ewart Gladstone made the consequential decision to resign as Prime Minister in 1885. The combination of these challenges had taken a toll on his ability to govern effectively and maintain party cohesion. The split within the Liberal Party over Home Rule had not been resolved, and opposition to Gladstone's leadership had intensified. Gladstone's resignation in 1885 marked the end of his second term as Prime Minister. Although he would later return as Prime Minister, the resignation reflected the complexities and pressures of leadership at a time of profound social, economic, and political change. Internal strife within the Liberal Party, combined with external challenges, necessitated a recalibration of the leadership and a reassessment of the party's direction. Gladstone's decision to step down in 1885 provides insight into the intricate balancing act required of political leaders during times of upheaval. It also set the stage for a period of political realignment and further debates on issues such as Home Rule, as well as the broader trajectory of British governance in the late 19th century. William Ewart Gladstone's legacy as a statesman and political leader is a subject of both admiration and criticism. His leadership style was characterized by a unique blend of intellectual vigor, impassioned oratory, and a commitment to principles. Gladstone was known for his deep sense of moral duty and his belief in the transformative power of individual liberty and social justice. His oratorical skills, often described as Gladstonian rhetoric, allowed him to connect with the public and garner support for his policies. However, his leadership style also faced criticism for being at times divisive, especially in the context of the internal party divisions over issues such as Home Rule. Gladstone's legacy is closely tied to his pursuit of progressive reforms and his advocacy for humanitarian causes. While his stance on issues like Irish Home Rule was divisive, his dedication to addressing societal inequalities and his contributions to economic and social reforms left an indelible mark on British politics. The policies and reforms implemented during Gladstone's tenure had a lasting impact on the trajectory of British governance and society. The Irish Land Act of 1881, although falling short of fully resolving the Irish land question, laid the groundwork for future land reforms. The introduction of fair rents and secure tenure reflected a commitment to addressing the grievances of Irish tenant farmers. Gladstone's economic policies, including his budgets and fiscal reforms, contributed to debates about economic liberalism and the role of the state in regulating economic activities. His emphasis on social justice and humanitarian causes left a legacy that influenced subsequent generations of political leaders and social reformers. The Elementary Education Act of 1880, aimed at improving education access, marked a step toward addressing educational inequalities. While these policies were not without controversy, they set the stage for ongoing discussions about the government's role in promoting social welfare and ensuring equal opportunities for all citizens. Gladstone's influence extended beyond his time in office, shaping the thinking of future political leaders and movements. His commitment to individual liberty, free trade, and social reform resonated with progressive thinkers. The Liberal Party, despite internal divisions during his leadership, continued to draw inspiration from Gladstone's ideals in subsequent decades. Gladstone's legacy also influenced political movements beyond the United Kingdom. His advocacy for self-determination and home rule in Ireland became a reference point for nationalist movements in various parts of the world. The idea of addressing historical grievances and granting autonomy to regions seeking self-governance found echoes in later movements for decolonization and independence. In the realm of political philosophy, Gladstone's ideas about the role of the state, the importance of individual rights, and the pursuit of justice contributed to the broader intellectual landscape. His legacy remains a subject of study and debate, reflecting the complexity of his impact on British politics and the enduring relevance of his ideas in the broader context of political thought. William Ewart Gladstone's contributions to British politics and society during his prime ministerial years are profound and enduring. His legacy is shaped by a commitment to liberal principles, humanitarian causes, and a vision of social justice. While his leadership was not without controversy and internal dissent, Gladstone's impact on the political landscape of the time and the subsequent course of British governance is undeniable. Gladstone's pursuit of progressive reforms, such as the Irish Land Act and educational improvements, left a lasting imprint on the social fabric of the nation. His intellectual vigor and oratorical skills brought attention to issues of individual liberty, fair governance, and the responsibilities of the state in addressing societal inequalities. The Home Rule question, though divisive during Gladstone's time, laid the groundwork for future debates on the constitutional status of Ireland. His stance on the Irish question, marked by a shift towards supporting Home Rule, reflected a willingness to adapt to changing circumstances and a commitment to addressing the historical grievances of the Irish people. Beyond the specific policies and political decisions, Gladstone's legacy resonates in the broader realms of political thought and leadership. His ideas about the role of government, the importance of ethical governance, and the pursuit of justice continue to influence political thinkers and practitioners. The challenges faced during his prime ministership, including the complexities of managing a diverse party and navigating contentious issues, offer valuable lessons for leaders in subsequent generations. In conclusion, William Ewart Gladstone's prime ministerial years from 1880 to 1885 left an indelible mark on British politics and society. His legacy is one of intellectual prowess, principled leadership, and a commitment to progressive ideals that continue to shape the trajectory of political discourse and governance in the United Kingdom. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it informative, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future.